Hey, what's up? I want to talk about the argument that AI is a bubble. And I specifically want to address the claim that it's kind of like the dot-com one. And basically, it's going to crash just like the dot-com one. And there are a couple of reasons why I don't think this is true. The second one is an actual argument reason, but the more important one is around the definition of what a bubble is. So people like my friend Marcus Hutchins are saying, yes, AI is a bubble, just like the dot-com crash. And yes, it can continue into the future, just like dot-com did, just like the internet did. The internet continued. And he's like, look, we're having this conversation on LinkedIn.com. So that proves a bubble can happen and burst and then continue on. And that is fundamentally, I think, misunderstanding what we're actually talking about with a bubble. What is the purpose of using the word bubble? Why not say overinflation? Why not say overhype? Why not say too much hype? Why not say overheated, right? There are already terms for these, like economic terms, for something that expands and contracts. Inflammation, overheating, overhyped, right? Those are all things. I agree with those things. Nothing wrong with those. Those sound amazing. If you want to use the word bubble, you have to think about the defining characteristic of a bubble. Bubbles pop. This is the whole reason people use the term, is because it's interesting because is it going to pop? That is the fundamental question. Is it going to pop? So what popped in the dot-com burst? It was not the internet. The claim being made, the false claim, was not that the internet is awesome. People were not investing in the internet. They were investing in a false idea that taking their mid-business, which wasn't that impressive, just giving it a .com and going online was going to solve their problems. It was going to solve everything. It was going to fix their business fundamentals. It was going to make them rich and famous. That was the bubble. That was the thing that popped. Now let's ask the question, does anyone believe after that pop that taking your business online and getting a .com address would make you successful? Does anyone believe that? No, they don't believe that because it popped. It popped, which means nobody believes it anymore. Looking back, everyone realizes it was foolish. The other thing is, in nature, have you ever seen any dead bubbles? Where can you go find like the carcasses of X bubbles? You don't find them. There aren't any. The whole point of a bubble is that it disappears after it pops. Okay. So you can't say, the dot-com crash was the internet and the internet continued. Therefore the bubble blew up, but it still exists. No, that's because you're looking at the wrong thing. So the question is, what is the thing for AI? What is the actual argument? Now, some will say, well, the argument is, just the same as .com. If you just have a chatbot and you go live with your chatbot, the whole business is saved. Well, anyone who believed that has kind of already lost out. That whole mentality kind of went away in 2023. Maybe part of 2024, maybe some stragglers still exist, but that's not the fundamental argument. That's not what the argument that's being made by pro-AI people like myself. I'll tell you what the pro-AI argument is. This tech is foundational. It's fundamental. It's going to change business drastically, which will lead to an impact, a massive impact, a remaking of the economy, because the economy is largely based on labor and cognitive labor, knowledge work, right? So this impact of this technology will be massive. It'll change business, it'll change the economy, and change how we think about valuing ourselves as humans, doing knowledge work. That is the claim being made, okay? That is the thing that is subject to, is it a bubble or not, right? Somebody like Marcus Hutchins does not believe that. He believes it is autocomplete, which is kind of the opposite of the argument that I'm making. And Gary Marcus also agrees with him. Basically, it's like this whole thing is overblown and it's just kind of complete trash. So that is the argument we need to be having. Okay, what exactly is the thing that you believe is false that will completely dissipate, and it will become obvious that it was silly and stupid in the future, looking backwards? That is the thing you have to isolate to be able to have this argument correctly, in my opinion. Otherwise, you'll just be arguing about definitions. See you in the next one.